What's your pathologies? So how to survive and thrive in a first world police state with Trentissimo? Be mindful that if you do something one time that is wrong, but you do a good task 99 times, more likely than not, you consider yourself to be doing good work because you did 99 good tasks. And yet when you go back to your pathology, depending on the weight of that wrong, you may just be a destroyer. So consider your pathologies. If you're 1 out of 99 involved the big four, and that's where people miss it. They become a den of robbers. And it's important to know those big four and to watch your pathologies. Because absent keeping the 10 Commandments, you're not going to survive and thrive, and you're going to end up being a pathological thief. And the reason I've used pathology in the big four is because municipal court judges sometimes can be pathological thieves. And I've got one particularly right now. Sometimes they'll withhold and won't enforce an abusive rule of man or a misguided law that's been passed. But I've got an attorney friend of mine that's also a judge, was a friend, but he stole a fee from him. He owed $28,000. Had me come into his office, purportedly fancy office. And pathologies often indicate how the person's heart and disposition is towards themselves. He was always puffed up, always talked about big military stuff, but he didn't go to the military academy, and I sensed in him a lack of salt, a lack of weight, a lack of light. So I spent an hour and a half, 3 hours total by the time I drove down there, wasted fuel money, invested in my case now $5,000, and $28,000 is what I was due as a fee. Had me come in my suit. Now I'm not practicing. I was in agreement with the bar not to practice because of a divorce, and they acted and just pretended about some things and exacerbated something that wasn't a problem. But the point is, the pathology of this guy is that he does the 99 things that he needs to do to look trustworthy, but he's a den of robbers. When you get around him, he's going to host a den of robbers, because if you steal one time but you do your job 99 times, the one act of theft, even if you try to cover it up with the other 99, is still the one act of theft. So the guy distributes the client's money without giving me even my case expenses, and distributes my fee, the total, to the client. Then I have to file something with the federal court to try to protect myself, and by that point I'm leveraged pretty much out of it and would have to file suit to get it back, and it'd take 1.5 years to 2 years. So watch your pathology, because this guy, who I'm going to pray for, without mentioning his name, but he's a municipal court judge, and he's got a pathology of theft. He doesn't appreciate. He stole my hour and a half, inviting me to come to his office. He stole my expenses because I invested those, or intended to, and then I had to fight to get it all back, and ended up agreeing to just take back the expenses, because these are clients of mine that I like, but people will cheat you. So the pathology of the big four: no spirit of murder, no spirit of sexual perversion, adultery, no spirit of theft or false witness. Here this guy's a municipal judge and could pretend all he wanted, and then called on the federal court judge the fact that I had to file to get my expenses back out. Said, well, the judge did this or that. That's after you distributed the case proceeds. And I came in without the opportunity to advocate on my behalf to get my fee, and agreed to a lower, lesser amount because he screwed me and lied and cheated and was a thief. So that's the reality. It's a den of robbers. They have those pathologies. They try to cover them up. A lot of times even their dockets. They'll take people. They don't value your time. Like this dog over here and this lady walking. They think you're like a dog. You're a separate social class. They're bad rules or the law, so they believe, and so they can just set you at any time and steal an hour from you. So he's the kind of guy that'll sit over a bunch of grown men who have regular jobs and work, and will demand them to show up and pay him money and be oppressive, guarantee it. And the system, those who aren't constitutional, that is corrupt, will like that. The parts of the system that are ethical, proper, and constitutional will not. So I believe in the Constitution: do not steal, Note your pathologies. Drinking's a pathology. You consume water, consume soda, consume Gatorade. Once you do it a certain number of times, you have to go back and look. But that wouldn't be a mortal sin. But these people commit mortal sins and think they're good people, including the municipal judge. That's why they're den of robbers. And so yes, that man who stole my fee and pretended like he's a good guy stole my hour and a half after I busted my tail and took a case that other lawyers wouldn't work because they're too scared of the risk. Specialty case involving a Jean-Baptiste Veloum violin that was stolen, and his little peon mind, because he's got his all military decorations and stuff, his pathology is he has to build himself up talking about the 99 good deeds he did because he knows he's going to steal from you the chance he can. And that's who he is. Peace be with you. God bless you, Jason Odom.